Lee performs, right, as bad as he performed against Josh Warrington, all right, he got the win, but Joe Cordina is not Josh Warrington.
No.
Right? Josh Warrington is a lot smaller. Josh Warrington is fast.
Right. Conor Benn, Chris Eubank Jr.
Well, I don't know if, I mean, some of our audience might not, at the moment, all the legalities over Conor Benn's positive drugs test and how Hi guys, we want you to share our content. Simply like, subscribe or follow our channels on all social media outlets. The more people you tag, the more posts you make, the more chance you've got of winning. We're giving away 5 $50 prizes. Get boxing. It doesn't tell us it started. So once again, this is the first time we've done Facebook Live. It's Boxing Bants talking about all the fight action over the weekend, what's to come and what's in the news. We're a good pal, Max at the Viking page. How you doing, bud?
Yeah, mate, I'm good. I'm in the comfy of my own home.
But it won't be for long because we're off to Newcastle next.
Yes.
Yeah, it's thanks to Matchroom that we're going to be in Newcastle. Then the following week it's Manchester, and the following week it's Dublin, Ireland.
Bring on the Black Falls pub. I can't wait.
Yeah, Connor, we've even booked a spot, right? Connor, just take the note. I'll give you the table number. Message me. Anyway, guys, what a fantastic weekend of boxing it was over there in the Principality in Monaco. The Joe Cordina Vasquez fight. It was a lot closer than many people predicted, mate. What do you think?
Yeah, I was impressed with how Cordina composed himself in the ring, but it wasn't no walkover, like a walk in the park. His opponent come to fight, which they did. But I thought Cordina just edged it in the later rounds just to sort of pull it off. You know what I mean? I don't think the scorecards were right. I think they give like a 4-point difference or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, 2 of the judges gave that, and I didn't. I thought it was a lot closer than that. And
yeah, I did.
And Joe said, you know, the guy can't beat me on my worst night, so he'll never cope with me on my best night. Now, when a fight is as close as that, a lot of fighters say exactly the same thing. But to me, I sat there and thought, well, actually, Joe, you know, you started off well, and it sort of petered out along the way. Now, obviously, a lot of people like you'd love to see a knockout, right? I mean, everybody loves to see a good, powerful knockout, and there was a couple of surprise knockouts. So when I talk with Eddie next week, it's going to be really interesting to see what he has to say. Especially when his boy gets put out, you know. We've seen him react badly before when we were at the Sheffield show, and he's so passionate. Yeah, Cyrus. I think he was shouting at the referee. He was no, he didn't. He ginned him. Ginned him. But you know, it's his fighters, so you know he obviously wants them to do well. We invest a lot of time, a lot of money into the fights. But I think the right man won. But I think it was a lot closer than they actually gave it.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, you know, I would have liked to see a little bit more spite from Joe. He was that a little bit early on. But, you know, it was great. It was great to see him back in the ring. It'll be onwards and upwards. I don't see the rematch coming in anytime soon. There is nothing for Joe in the rematch. Not at all. Well,
I think, like Eddie was saying, he want Joe to sort of go on, move forward, and face Foster Navarrete or Lee Woods.
Well, I'd love to see that Lee Wood fight. That would be really good.
That'd be a good fight.
And I wonder whether Lee would want that fight as well as Joe, because both of them didn't look particularly dominating. So obviously Lee Wood had that win over Josh Warrington, didn't he?
Yeah, but
Josh Warrington nearly banged him out. I mean, Josh Warrington was spiteful.
I'll tell you what, though, Lee Wood pulled it out of the bag. He was getting, I wouldn't say beat up, but he was being beat in pretty much all the rounds leading up to him knocking Josh out.
Yeah. I mean, Josh
him
surprised me. I mean, he's so fast, so spiteful, and got hit with a 3 or 4 punch combination. And I think the referee stopped that far too early because of
definitely. We said today, didn't we, that was stopped just a little bit early, but then you got to think, you know, it's in the referee's hands.
Once again, guys, if you want to have your say, drop us a comment, drop us a like, anything you want to do. And also have your say on actually the fights. Go over to FighterstalkTV.com. The link is in this description somewhere. click that link and sign up for the free, absolutely free, no adverts at all, at Fighters Talk TV app. Just quick registration, log in, have your say. You can vote and watch all the fights that we're talking about. So at the moment, we've uploaded the Cordina one. Obviously, you can go over the Fury one, both Furies actually, Tommy Fury and Tyson Fury's previous fights. So it's totally free. Have your say, vote, and let us know what you think. So, so what next? What would you like to see Joe Cordina do next?
I think I like him to take on Lee Wood. I think I think they'd have a good battle. You know what I mean?
Well,
they're both tough, and they both take a punch, and they both can prove that they've got the knockout power when it's there.
Well, to tell you what I think about that. So, I think if Lee performs, right, as bad as he performed against Josh Warrington, he got the win, but Joe Cordina is not Josh Warrington.
No.
Right? Josh Warrington is a lot smaller. Josh Warrington is fast. Obviously, his punches don't carry stopping power at that weight division. However, Joe Cordina's will,
Yeah.
And
you can't let Joe unleash combos because you will be banging trouble.
Yeah,
and then I think,
he will.
And as Lee proved, it's vice versa.
Absolutely, absolutely. So don't forget, guys, go and have your say. Download the Fighters Talk TV app, both on Android and iOS or iPhone. Totally free, no adverts. Have your say, watch the fight, and then you can pick your winner. Sorry, go on, mate. The next bit of news. We've got to get off to something else.
Right. Conor Benn, Chris Eubank Jr.
Well, I don't know if some of our audience might not understand or know these two particular fighters. Both fathers were world champion boxers. They had a bit of a ruckus together. Nigel, we've spoken to him, didn't like and doesn't like Chris Eubank, even though they did the speaking tour and he couldn't get a word in edgeways. But Chris Eubank has gone on. He's now managing Harlan Bank's career, which I think is his nephew. And obviously Junior, Chris Eubank Jr. is going off on his own. Now, Chris Eubank Jr. is in his mid-30s. Conor Benn's in his mid-20s. Conor Benn is 2 weight divisions below him, 16 pounds in weight in difference, roughly. And obviously Eubank Sr. doesn't like that, as I can understand, because it's awfully dangerous.
But like I've said before, I think Conor comes up, Chris Eubank comes down, only a bit each. So
£8 a piece.
Yeah, that's to be fair.
Yeah, I think so. And Conor came back and he had his fight out there in Florida, I believe, on a Matchroom show. However, there is some discrepancies. Will the British Boxing Board of Control allow Conor Benn to fight? Because there's only 2 ways you fight in the UK, if that's where it is. And this fight it'll either be in Saudi with no audience or with very little audience.
Yeah.
Or it's going to be here with a massive audience. So what has to happen, guys, if you don't know, British Boxing Board of Control in the
can't they fight on these American license?
I'm just about to explain it. The British Boxing Board of Control, there's 2 ways you can fight in the UK as a professional fighter. The first one is you obtain a license from the British Boxing Board of Control. The second one is you have a license supplied by another district, which would be either the Saudi Arabians or the Americans or whatnot. And remember, Americans have different athletic commissions in different states. And then you have to apply to the British Boxing Board of Control to fight inside of the UK. Now, here's where the problem is. At the moment, all the legalities over Conor Benn's positive drugs test and whether he's proved his innocence, whether he hasn't proved his innocence, whether they're appealing, whether they're not, is still all up in the air.
Yeah, it depends who you're asking.
Exactly. We are in one of those unprecedented circumstances, and I'd love to hear your opinion, guys, so hit us up in the comments. One of those really difficult circumstances where we don't know if he's going to be allowed to do either from the British Boxing Board of Control because there's still an outstanding investigation. Okay? They have appealed the findings. Conor Benn won. Conor Benn spent a fortune on lawyers and everything else.
Oh, he did, didn't he, didn't he?
Yeah, 40 grand a month he was selling us, wasn't he?
Yeah, something like that.
It was big. It was about $47,000 a month for those of our fans over there in the US. But what if, let's put some, if they deny him the license to fight here in the UK, or they deny him the permission to box here in the UK, then it's only one place it's going, and that's Saudi.
Yeah.
Now do terrible injustice to the British boxing fan. But Chris Eubank Sr. doesn't want the fight. He said it's too dangerous for Conor Benn once he comes up those £8 to go back down. Listen, Conor walks around at 170, he was telling us.
Yeah.
Yeah. But go on.
Eubank's cousin said if Conor fought Eubank at his weight, it's like a public execution. But if Eubank fought Conor at his weight,
Conor's weight, yeah.
At Conor's natural weight at 147, then it'd be Chrissy's public execution.
Do you know what it is? This is a fight that is purely made because of who their dads are. Not because of whether their boxing ability is any different, okay? Both fast fighters at the given weight.
Listen, both their dads were phenomenal athletes. Chris Eubank Sr. and Nigel Benn, both phenomenal fighters back in their day, and they were tough men, still are now today. And it's roll on into their kids. Yeah. But hopefully it doesn't roll on into their kids.
Well, do you know what? I mean, boxing's in the blood, isn't it? Sorry about that, guys. That was my front door. That proves that we're live. I mean, boxing's in the blood, okay? You know, we can never get out of it. When you love it so much, it's in the blood, and especially when your father's been fantastic athletes. But listen, it comes back down to, what did we say? It's all about the Benjamins.
Yeah.
That is the biggest fight for both of these two fighters right now in terms of commercial value. In terms of whether we agree with it or not, that is the commercial value. Would we like to see it? Us being boxing fans, yes.
Yeah,
from an
I like to see this fight
point of view, right? From an entertainment point of view, in a kind of Misfits boxing, KSI, Logan Paul, Jake Paul kind of view, right? Because is it dangerous? It is absolutely dangerous when you've got a man who is weighing 15% more, 20% more than you do, hitting you. Okay, it'd be like me punching you, and then you punching me. I know you've got iron hands, but I've got 4 stone weight advantage. That's a hell of a lot. Yeah, a hell of a lot. And it is, for all intents and purposes, rather dangerous. Now, these are professional athletes, and we all know that Chris Eubank went up to fight George Groves in the Muhammad Ali Trophy, so he even put more weight on. I think it was, but if Conor is confident, I mean, these are, I think Senior said, this is an illegal. It's not illegal. 2 men agree to fight. Doesn't really matter what the terms are, and what they can fight a heavyweight if that's what they really wanted. But I would like to see it, I think, from a legend point of view.
Yeah, but if we go back to when the fight was meant to actually happen, I agree with Chris Eubank Senior. Stop the fight, because Chris Jr. looked absolutely. It looked like he'd been in the POW camp. You know what I mean?
It was.
Yeah. And I agree with Eubank Senior.
You've got to look at it as well. When you come down in weight, you strip water out. And that's what's happening, essentially. You're stripping the fat out, you're stripping the water out. He's going to get there. And there would have been a rehydration clause in the Chris Eubank Conor Benn fight originally. And it would have been told you cannot bulk up any more than XYZ. Remember, in boxing, guys, what a lot of people don't realise is rehydration clauses that say you can't put on X more about the pounds or whatever it is, to be able to get the fight, or you forfeit some of your purse or whatever happens. But it's always got to be in the best interest of the fighter. Now, if Conor Benn is walking around, as he claims, at 170, 165, 170, then the obvious sense would be fight at 160. Drop that £5, go down to 147, 158, you can go to whatever. It's to fight at that sort of weight level. Then they've got that mix that's coming down.
Yeah, that's a stone down, stone up sort of thing. Weights, I mean, so
now think about this situation. Conor Benn's last outing against a very, very tough Mexican opponent, he didn't stop him. And this guy's the same size Chris Eubank is.
Yeah, but I think, obviously, it could be that was his first opponent at that weight as well.
But you're fighting a bigger fighter. So it's very interesting. We're going to have to wait and see what comes up. It certainly is very, very interesting. And then...
Listen, we've had mixed views about this for the last 6-7 months. You know what I mean? So as time nears the actual fight, if it actually happens in England or over in Saudi, it's going to be a brutal fight. Either way you look at it.
Absolutely. And one...
Like Battle of the Gladiators.
I mean, we're not fighting, so it's easy...
it's easy for us to sit here in our chairs going, "Why you do this, you do that." We want this to happen.
I mean, it's just I guess that's how it goes. That's how it goes, isn't it? Okay, guys. So let's talk about what's coming up this weekend around the world of boxing. So, of course, on Saturday night in Newcastle, where we will be, it's Masoud versus San Martin. It's a matchroom show. So Shabaz Masoud versus Jose San Martin. Good career. It's a part of a next-gen show, so of course, we're seeing lots of fighters on that. And that's the only fight that's going on this weekend. So, guys, if you want to see that will be live on DAZN, and of course, it's a matchroom show, as I mentioned before, and that'll be Saturday night here in the UK at around 7 p.m. So I'm guessing probably around 11 p.m. Western Standard Time in America, and Eastern Standard Time, it's going to be around sort of 3. So, 2-3 o'clock. So don't forget, tune into that. It'll be absolutely fantastic. Who you got for that fight then? I can't see anything more than Shabaz win.
Yeah, I think you're right. Well, I don't think it's going to be a walk in the park, but it's going to be a win.
Yeah, not walking the parks aren't all that great, are they? So, you like to see big knockouts, but then you at championship level, when you're looking to break into the real top echelons of boxing, that's it's where it is.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I'm talking about knockouts. I want to talk about what's coming up in December.
Which one?
Sonny Edwards and Bam Rodriguez.
Yeah. So this is a world. I think it's flyweight title. It's a flyweight title fight.
Unify.
To unify, that's right, to unify the division between Bam Rodriguez and Sonny Edwards. Sonny Edwards, absolutely fantastic little character. We've seen him many times. He interrupts our interviews with quite a bit, and he's a really, really nice guy.
Yeah.
Except you are going against the British again, and you've upset him. Yeah.
I didn't upset him.
No, I have your corner.
Listen, someone put up his record up, right? And it's all UD, all of them. So I quite clearly stated that, but no knockouts. Yeah, but on the thing,
the fights are the more difficult the knockouts are. And you're going to sit there again, well, Prince Nassim Hamid wasn't light, and he was banging everyone out left, right, and centre.
Yes. But anyway, going back to Edwards, all I've done was clearly point out there wasn't no knockouts, and he clearly upset a few people.
Rude. Upset him.
Well, sorry, I'll speak my mind. Just say what I see.
And he's about 5'2" and you're 6'1", so there's a big divide there.
Yeah. But anyway, this Bam, I feel he's got knockout power. But I just hope, touching wood, that Sonny comes home with the belts.
But you think Bam's going to take it?
No, I'm hoping. I want Sonny to bring the belts home. But it's going to be a tough fight for him.
Yeah, definitely. It's not going to be an easy ask.
No.
Anyway, guys, thank you very much for joining us for another weekend of Boxing Bants. It's been an absolute pleasure to go on Facebook for the first time. We switched from YouTube to Facebook. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for all your comments. Really appreciate it. Don't forget, go over to Fighters Talk TV. Download the app on iOS or Android. You can find it in the relative app stores. Just search Fighters Talk TV. Have your say on the fights. Watch the fights. And give us your opinion.
And the best thing, it's free.
It is, and we deliberately haven't put any adverts on it yet. I'll use the word yet. We might put a little banner on it somewhere if we get some nice person who's going to sponsor the channel.